For this type of question, we first need to start with what we already know. So we're told that we have an isosceles triangle. So the first thing you want to think of, we're looking at angles, is the angles in a triangle. So our first fact is that our angles in a triangle sum to 180. That's our first fact. The fact that this is an isosceles triangle allows us to already derive something else, and that's the fact that our base angles, these two here, must be the same. You don't have to write these facts down, but sometimes it can be helpful to have a list to go back to as we work through the question. I'm also going to number them, fact 1 and fact 2, so when I'm working through I can say which fact I'm going to use, rather than have to keep rewriting it. So the first thing we need to do is we've got two unknowns, two variables, two letters, but we need the value of z. So I'm going to need to find x first. To find x, I'm going to use fact 2. The fact that these two angles at the bottom, our base angles, are the same. So we can then rewrite this as 8x minus 6 is equal to 2x plus 24. If they're the same, they're equal to each other. From here, then, all I have to do is solve x, as you would go about solving any equation. It doesn't matter that it's in the context of a triangle at the moment. We just need to find the value of x. So we start by eliminating the smallest integer value. Minus 6 is smaller than 24, we know that. To eliminate it, and eliminate is the word I'm going to use, to eliminate this, we need to use the opposite sign. To get rid of minus 6, to get back to 0, you add 6. We use the opposite sign. So I'm going to add 6, but I've always got to remember to do it to both sides. When I do that on the left-hand side, it'll eliminate, it'll cancel out. And on the right-hand side now, I'll be left with 8x is equal to 2x. 24 add 6 is 30. Now we're going to eliminate the smallest coefficient of x. The smallest coefficient, the coefficient being the number in front of. 2 is smaller than 8. So we're going to eliminate that. Again, I'm taking away, because remember, if there is no sign, it's an addition, it's a positive number. So we're going to take it away. So I now get left with 6x is equal to 30 on our right-hand side. If 6 lots of something is 30, then to find one lot, we must divide by 6. So x is equal to 30 divided by 6, which is 5. Now we found x, we can go about finding z. So what we need to do is use fact 1. In fact 1, we know that z, add 8x minus 6, add 2x plus 24 is equal to 180. We already know x, so I'm going to substitute that in first. So I'm going to get z, add 8 times 5 minus 6. Remember, these are in brackets, so they all need to be done together. And I'm going to get 2 times 5, add 24. And that is equal to 180. Z, add 8 times 5 is 40. 40 take away 6 is 34. We know they're the same, but it's always handy to check. 2 times 5 is 10, add 24, again, is 34. And that is all still equal to 180. Just to make things easier, I'm going to add them together on the left-hand side first. So when I get z, add 68 rather, is equal to 180. So z is 180, take away 68, which is going to give me my final answer of 112 degrees. There's a lot going on here. These are quite heavy questions when we're using geometry to both form and solve equations, as we first had to form both equations and then we had to solve them to find both x and z. There's a lot going on here. So take a look through the skills. I first of all had to know my 2 facts. So you might want to brush up on some of your geometry facts, some of your facts about shapes, particularly as they come up the most often, rectangles and triangles. They are the biggest 2. Circles also. They are the 3 things you need to know is your facts about the angles in a rectangle, angles in a triangle, angles in a circle, perimeter of rectangles, triangles and circles, and area of those 3 shapes as well. Look through this question, identify the facts and practice them.